Was birtherism racist?
Look, I wasn't really involved in that.
That's Jared Kushner, Ivanka Trump's husband, senior advisor to President Trump, and heir to a $1.8 billion real estate empire. An empire, by the way, he had to take over at one point when his dad was in prison for tax evasion, among other crimes. So who is Jared Kushner? Good thing I asked. I'm Anna Akana, and I'll fill you in on Trump's one-percenter son-in-law. Jared Corey Kushner was born on January 10, 1981 in Livingston, New Jersey. His father, Charles, is a wildly successful real estate magnate and as such did what plutocrats do. Namely, pour money into politics and get their kids into elite schools. Charles was one of the top Democratic Party donors in the entire country. And as it happens, the apple does not fall far. Jared entered the plutocrat fray at the very tender age of 11, donating the maximum money allowed legally to Senator Frank Lautenberg. While Jared was attending an expensive private high school, his father began donating $2.5 million to Harvard University, paid in annual installments of $250,000, which probably, maybe, I don't know, paved the way for Jared to attend the elite school, really living up to the Kushner name there with your cushy lifestyle. But his acceptance to Harvard cost more than mere millions. According to journalist Daniel Golden, Senator Ted Kennedy called Harvard's admissions staff to urge for Kushner's acceptance. Taxpayer dollars very hard at work there. Kennedy had allegedly been asked to do so by Senator Frank Lautenberg of New Jersey, who received $100,000 in campaign donations from Jared's daddy. Golden's book, The Price of Admission: How America's Ruling Class Buys Its Way into Elite Colleges, cites an unnamed official from Jared's private high school who claims his test scores were not Ivy League standard. Surprise, surprise. It's very unclear still if his father's millions actually played a part in his acceptance to Harvard. Later, Jared went on to graduate school at NYU. He was admitted just months after his father rented office space to the university. An NYU official said of that agreement, "The university was the recipient of a wonderful gift as part of this transaction, and NYU is most grateful to Mr. Kushner." But Charles Kushner's biggest move to gift his son Jared power would actually come by accident. After a family dispute over Charles' real estate empire and its winnings, Charles' relationship with his sister and brother-in-law apparently soured. In 2003, a federal grand jury investigation began examining Charles's taxes and campaign contributions, at which point Charles's own sister and brother-in-law cooperated with the authorities. In retaliation, Charles decided to hire a prostitute to seduce his brother-in-law sexually, videotaped this encounter, and he mailed the tape to his sister, an lurid attempt to retaliate against the couple for helping the authorities. That is one very disgusting but entertaining episode of Succession right there. In the end, Charles pled guilty to tax evasion, witness tampering, and illegal campaign donations. In 2005, Charles Kushner was sentenced to 2 years in prison. And guess who the U.S. attorney who put Kushner behind bars was? Famous beachgoer Chris Christie.
I had someone say to me at an event that I was at a week or so ago, "So you put Jared Kushner's father in jail?" And I said, "No, Charlie Kushner put himself in jail."
With his father in prison, Jared watched over the family empire. That's when Jared bought the weekly newspaper, The New York Observer. The Times reported he paid nearly $10 million for a majority stake, which begs the question, what would the real estate heir need with a newspaper? Don't worry, we'll get to that. The riches of Kushner companies continued to bloat, and by January of 2007, they announced their purchase of the most expensive single building in American history, buying 666 Fifth Avenue for $1.8 billion. He loved the real estate business, maybe a little bit too much. A year and a half later, he told Portfolio magazine that real estate is like porn for rich people. It's around this time that Jared began dating a board game salesman's daughter.
My new game is Trump, the game.
Trump, the game where you deal for everything you've ever wanted to own.
The Kushner clan survived the recent financial crisis. They sold $1.9 billion in real estate immediately before the housing collapse in 2008. A year later, he officially became CEO of Kushner Companies. And in the midst of the biggest economic collapse in recent history, Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump married on October 25th of 2009 at Daddy Trump's golf course in Bedminster, New Jersey. Trump supposedly used the wedding invitations to advertise for his golf courses, but Ivanka denied this. As people began to foreclose on their homes around the country, Jared saw an opportunity. By 2011, he began buying up distressed properties in Maryland and the Rust Belt to turn them into higher-end housing. When interviewed about it at the time, he said, "It was a lot of construction and a lot of evictions." Meanwhile, Jared's newspaper, the New York Observer, was in turmoil. Beloved editors were supposedly pushed out, and some alleged he was using it to take on personal vendettas, like when he supposedly demanded an editor pen a takedown on a paper that covered his father's crimes. The Observer was formally irreverent, intellectual, and liberal. For example, they once published the sentence, "The Donald's incredible bullshit machine keeps churning up the landscape, spewing forth a plume of chutzpah that might have made even P.T. Barnum a bit queasy." But under Jared's control, they began publishing staff editorials like, "Cut taxes, stop flight. Excuse me, higher taxes won't work." And, "Dear Occupy Wall Street, it's time to go home." And while Donald Trump was going on national network television to spread the racist birther conspiracy theory that President Obama was not an American citizen,
I want him to show his birth certificate.
Jared's newspaper avoided negative coverage of the Donald. Suspect indeed. He was hemorrhaging money on 666 Fifth Avenue, and he allegedly harassed rent-stabilized tenants, trying to force them to move. Additionally, his newspaper was floundering with the print side of the business in serious decline. Kushner needed redemption, and badly. His father-in-law then decided to run for president. Being a Democrat became very inconvenient, and Kushner's history of donating to Democratic candidates, including $6,000 to Hillary Clinton and $10,000 to Democrats as recently as 2014, came to a close. Jared joined his father-in-law's campaign and became an integral part of many top decisions. Then, the Observer endorsed Trump for the Republican nomination. During the campaign, Trump tweeted this photo of Hillary Clinton superimposed over a pile of money. Next to her is what appears to be a Star of David, which is a Jewish symbol, and in the star, text that reads, "Most corrupt candidate ever." Hours later, Trump deleted the tweet. What a surprise. Kushner, who is Jewish, defended Trump and wrote a response in The Observer that said, in part, "My father-in-law is not an anti-Semite. The difference between me and the journalists and Twitter throngs who find it so convenient to dismiss my father-in-law is simple. I know him, and they don't." Kushner was put in a position of power by yet another daddy figure after Donald won the presidency. Jared was named senior advisor to the president, which apparently is a pretty big role. Jared quickly became responsible for, hold on to your hats, folks, negotiating peace in the Middle East, fixing the opioid crisis, diplomacy with Mexico, and China, reforming care for veterans, the criminal justice system, and the U.S. government to make it run like a great American company. I'm tired just thinking about all of that. But it gets even more exhausting when you hear his ideas for Middle East peace, outlined at the Peace to Prosperity Conference in Bahrain in late June of 2019.
For a moment, imagine a new reality in the Middle East. Imagine a bustling commercial and tourist center in Gaza and the West Bank, where international businesses come together and thrive.
Fast forward to January of 2020, when President Trump authorized a drone strike that killed Iran's top security and intelligence commander, Major General Qasem Soleimani. It's unclear how we can, in Jared's words, and I'm quoting here, "imagine a new reality for the Middle East while the U.S. is bombing it."
Hey, thanks for watching Who Is. Did you know we have a podcast now too? On Who Is, the podcast, I'll dive deep into the fascinating lives of the people who run things, whose decisions impact every aspect of our lives. How did they get where they are today? And knowing that, what might they do next? From politicians to the ultra-rich, to military contractors and monarchs and media moguls, I'll introduce you to the reporters and experts who know these real-life world molders best. Sharp-eyed observers and confidants who observe our subjects as they make the decisions that define our everyday lives. To see more, hit the link or search Who Is on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. And for more of the video series you know and love, be sure to check out the Snapchat versions and our series playlists on YouTube and Facebook.